Hello, Jen here, and today I have for you guys the May release for Wild Whisper Design. So, this is their Forever and Always collection, and it is inspired by weddings and by wedding season and love, I guess you could say. So, I'm going to quickly flip through everything that I got for the month. I started with this traveler's notebook, and I absolutely adore it. It's got these beautiful watercolor flowers and succulents, and I love the soft colors and the soft gray. I'm going to use that as my May traveler's notebook. And then I got the wood veneer. I got this gorgeous exclusive Spiegelmom scrap sequins. You can see I keep moving it around because it just catches the light so beautifully, and yeah, I'm going to use up that whole pack. And then I got the card pack. So I'll flip through here and show you. You can see that everything has this beautiful, delicate wedding motif to it. But as I flip through, you'll notice that I've actually gone ahead and flipped everything to the non-wedding side of it. So the stuff that I would probably use, because I'm not married, so I don't have wedding photos to scrap. I'm probably going to use this just continuing with my summer album from last year, or maybe some nice photos of me and my hubby. I call him my hubby even though we're not married, but we've been together for almost 20 years, so we're sort of married, but we haven't actually had the official celebration, so we're not really bride and groom. But you can see here as I'm flipping through, these cards are just really versatile, and the colors are so beautiful, so pretty and sweet. I love this card with the succulent. Oh, I could use like 5 more of them. And then the hearts on the back are just as gorgeous, so yeah, I'm gonna have to pick up a few more of those. And of course, this is the single pack of cards, but the cards and the paper packs both come as doubles if you want. So you have the option. You can get the singles and just, try and figure out which side of each that you want to use. Or you can go ahead and treat yourself to the double packs, because then that way you get 2 of everything and you don't have to pick a side. And you can see how lovely all of those colors are. They've really done a great job of spreading the colors throughout the cards. So there's that succulent again, and Love Never Fails. And here are some great labels that you can use. Cut them out or use it whole. And there's lots of great cards like this that have some beautiful sayings on them. So don't let the wedding motif scare you if you have no weddings coming up in your future or you are not married. I just know that I'm going to be able to use up every single piece of this collection on non-wedding layouts. So here you can see the papers, that beautiful sort of ombre of the blues down to greens. And there's that really pretty sketchy heart again, and the gems. I was going to say diamonds, but they're gems. And the nice thing about that is there are gems in other collections. So it really helps to keep all of the collection sort of congruent, and especially the stamps and things like that. You can really carry them over each month and get lots of use out of them. Here you can see just a page full of words, and that's sort of in this nice red type. And I love that paper, obviously. I just wanted to touch it. And then it always ends with a cut apart sheet. And I was just saying that there's this extra sort of splash of dark, almost burnt orange type color, which is really nice to have some of those dark colors because they really help to make the lighter colors pop. All right, so here is the layout that I'm going to do. I have pulled out some old stamp sets from past collections, and I plan to use some of the flowers that are in some of those stamps. I'm picking the peach paper with these really cute white sketchy hearts, and then I have a bunch of cards that I'm going to use to fussy cut out some flowers. So I'm going to put gesso in the center of the page. And basically, I know that the center is where most of my embellishment is going to go, and it can get pretty busy with all of the flowers I plan to put there. So I want to sort of tone down that center just a little bit and just make sure that it's not too busy. So those are the 3 cards. As of right now, I'm planning on fussy cutting those cards, but you'll see later I don't actually do that. And I'm going to do some stamping. So the 2 sets that I end up using for flowers are the Focus on You and the No Place Like Home. So these cute little tiny flowers come from No Place Like Home. And those I'm stamping in black, and I plan to just color them in a little bit. And then I'm going to use the bigger flowers from Focus on You, and they're actually designed to be layerable. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, and I just really like how that sort of mimics the flowers that are already on the cards. I pulled out my Tim Holtz colors. So this is I think this one is Fossilized Amber, and the other one is it called Worn Lipstick? When I put the 2 together, they make the perfect different tones of orange and peaches. So that's exactly what I'm kind of playing with here to get those colors. And I'm just using a cheap sketchbook that I got at the dollar store. The paper is probably around 75 pound. It's not 90 pound, but it's not super duper cheap either. I didn't want to use up any good paper while I was just playing, but I end up really liking all of these, so these are the ones that I use. And you can see there, I thought I was super clever with myself. I took the inside of the flower, the part that's meant to be layered on the inside of those larger flowers, and I just stamped them on top of each other a few times and kind of rotated the stamp as I did it, and they turned out to look like the cutest little succulents. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how those turned out. And they end up working out really nicely as just little tiny details that I can tuck into places. So because the paper isn't the best quality and it's the fibers in it are really rough, I'm just going to use a little bit of water to kind of smooth out some of the stamping, and that way they just match the watercolor look a little bit better. And I'm using that same center here for the intended purpose, which is to layer on top of these flowers. And again, it's just adding a little bit of extra dimension to them, a little bit of depth to them so that they match a little better with the quality of the watercolors in the cards. And I'll fussy cut all of those out. Well, not quite all of them. I pick a few of the best ones, and that's what I fussy cut out. But enough to kind of supplement the clusters that I plan on using, and just sort of, again, add a little bit of extra texture there. And you can see I've got all of that stuff fussy cut out up at the top of the screen. And now I want this cute little fox. So I stamp him in the orangey tones, peachy orangey tones. And I do it a couple times just to see the best turnout, I guess. And then I do the same in the blues. And the blues there, I think it's peacock feathers is the brighter one, and the other one is it called salty sea or stormy sea? It turns out that one's actually a better match, so I pick the one that's the darkest one down at the bottom. And I'm using just a little bit of brown Stays On for the outline. I didn't want it to be stark black because nothing else on the layout is black. The darkest colors in this layout are actually more of a gray, so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't using anything too bold. And to give them a little bit of extra detail, I'm just painting on some white. I'm just using a little bit of texture paste mixed in with the pearl paste, and it gives them that nice sort of fun three-dimensional look. They end up not staying white once it dries. They really did soak into the paper, but that's okay. You can still see that there's a little bit of extra texture there. And before I glue everything down, I want to make sure to put everything sort of in its spot so that I have everything balanced. And I end up not using that card down at the bottom. I just felt like I didn't need it. It was really pretty, and I thought that it would work well down at the bottom, but it really didn't need it. So I will save that one for another day. But I do pop the picture up. That way it just holds its own a little bit better, and then I can start sticking all of this fussy cut stuff down. And I always start with my biggest pieces. That way I can kind of fill in the spaces with the rest of the stuff. And I just love how the contrast in textures between the paper, because as you know, Wild Whisper paper has a really nice sort of coated texture to it, so it's a little bit more shiny. And then the paper I used for stamping is really matte, and I don't know how else to explain it. It's just really fibrous. So it's nice to have those different textures, which is really similar to an actual grouping of flowers. They all have different textures, and they all have lots of dimension and personality to them. So in each of these clusters, I'm using pop dots to pop things up here and there and add a lot of personality to the clusters. And I thought of this picture as soon as I saw this collection. Just the colors in the picture with the greenery, I guess, is it called greenery? I don't even know. Whatever they used to make the fox's tails, it is just a perfect match for these peachy tones. And then the green of the foxes, again, works really well with the greens in this collection. And I think that all of that really makes the blue stand out and look really bright. So as soon as I saw this, I knew I was going to use this picture. And of course I had to pull out the stamp with the fox in it, because I can't use that enough when I'm scrapping my little fox. It took a little bit of time to pop all of this up. When I fussy cut this out, I did literally go around each little tiny twig and I don't know what else is in there, cattails and all of those little things that kind of stuck up. And then I cut my little foam dots into the tiniest squares I could so that some of them would pop up, some I have sticking right down, and that way it just really adds a lot of interesting dimension. And I go with the blue fox because how could you not? It's just so cute, and the blue contrasts really well with the peach. I actually keep the branding strip on too because it has that same really nice blue color, and I just like the way it kind of grounds the layout a little bit, because without it, I think the layout kind of looks like everything's just floating there. I do add the other fox too, though, eventually, because it needed to. Let's face it, it did. It needed both the blue and the orange, so he gets in there too. And to finish up the layout, I'm going to add some wood veneer from the wood veneer pack. I like the texture that it gives. And I do a little fun ripping technique to the other three sides of the layout. I really wanted to use that gray card with the flowers on it. So this is how I'm going to get that card onto the layout. And I'll do this in 3 spots, and then now I have sort of the feel of a border to the page, and so I think that that really helps to finish it off and make it look really nice. And I just like that it adds a little bit of kind of fun and whimsy, which, I mean, let's face it, we're standing in front of 2 giant foxes, so it needed a little bit of whimsy there. And there's the home for the orange fox. And these just give me the perfect little spots for some extra embellishment. So from my stash, I'm going to pull out some wood veneer hearts and some gold heart sequins. And then I'm also going to use the Spiegel Mom scrap sequins that come with the kit, or come with the collection. Sorry, I keep saying kit, but it's actually just the collection. And that is how I end up finishing off this layout. Oh, I do add that tag. By using the gray card, it allowed me to also bring in this gray tag, and that's where I put my title. And then on the other side, in that sort of open space, I use a gray pen to write my journaling so that everything has a little bit of balance to it. So while I'm putting on those finishing touches, let me tell you about the exciting news at Wild Whisper. May 1st, they launched their very first online class. So this is a comprehensive wedding class designed to help you scrap that most memorable of days. But even if you don't have any weddings coming up, it definitely is chock full of tips and tricks and ideas, and it's well worth it to go check it out. So head on over to wildwhisperdesigns.com. You can get this collection there. You can see all of the really gorgeous products they have and find out more information about the class. And if you have any questions, leave them for me down below. Remember to use my discount code DTGen in order to get 10% off of your purchase. And until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.